Welcome back, everyone. Today we are joined by Greg Pfleider, the CEO at Accelerate to Compliance. Greg, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Oliver. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. It's great to meet you as well. Would you mind telling the audience just a little about yourself and what you guys do at Accelerate to Compliance?
Well, at Accelerate to Compliance, we help small and medium-sized businesses address compliance requirements if needed. And we also help small and medium-sized businesses build a culture of security at their business.
Mm.
With the proliferation of breach occurrences, civil suits, regulatory fines, it's a mess out there. And we're here to be a simple solution for small and medium-sized businesses to utilize as a resource and a solution to help address information security compliance metrics if needed, and then building a culture of security at their business.
Yeah, very cool. And I know you stepped in as the CEO. Would you mind giving us a little bit of history about A2C as a whole?
A2C was founded in 2015. My background has not been in technology. I spent the better part of my career in financial services and Wall Street. When 2001 came around and the Patriot Act and everything came into place, the compliance metrics that we needed to follow as investment banks was unbelievably expensive and extremely painful. And now with the proliferation of breach occurrences with small and medium-sized businesses, who's the resource for them? They can't afford to spend thousands of dollars a month and sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. So providing them a simple and easy solution is where we felt there was a void. I saw the void when I met with a few members of the board back in 2017 and had been speaking with the business for a while and was very, very impressed by the simplicity of their solution. And in talking to the board, they had invited me to come on in January of 2020 to take over the business. So I've been here about 6 years now.
Mm. Nice. Very cool. And I'm sure it's been a journey. The landscape has changed quite a bit in the
Oh
last
yeah.
6 years.
Oh
And
yeah.
as we're wrapping up 2025, for the people listening, the date of recording is December 29th, 2025. Over this last year, what have been some of the biggest shifts in the landscape that you've seen?
Well, there's a multitude of them. Obviously, with the introduction of AI, the good guys can use AI, but so can the bad guys. So, with the proliferation of AI and the advancement thereof, obviously we're seeing an advancement in how breaches transpire. Also, 2, 3 years ago, most small, medium-sized businesses, specifically dealerships, which is one of the verticals that we work with, really there was no simple and easy solution for them to begin addressing these compliance metrics that have been put upon them by the Federal Trade Commission. But what we've seen over the last, call it 12 to 18 months, is a greater rise in civil suits and civil penalties. So there was a breach by a company called Motility, not by Motility, it was a breach at Motility, which is a DMS in the RV space. And when the announcement came out, there was a link to the law firm that's handling the class action suit. So what you're seeing now are ambulance chasing attorneys all over the place. And I understand it. I mean, they're in charge of protecting consumers' private data, and so are small and medium-sized businesses. And providing them a simple and easy solution to help effectuate that is exactly what we do.
Gotcha. And through that kind of development in the last year, you mentioned the growth of AI specifically.
hmm
Obviously, the good guys can use it, the bad guys can use it as well. Sitting in your seat at A2C, does that make you view it as more of an opportunity? Is it more of a threat? How are you perceiving it, and how are you kind of navigating it so A2C is at the front of that?
Oh, both. I mean, it's both. I mean, it's incumbent upon us as a business to make sure that we maintain our trends of solutions with the trends of the threats. So as the threats become more complicated, obviously some compliance metrics may become more complicated. There may be some good blocking and tackling fundamentals that maybe aren't as well known today that may be very well known tomorrow, based upon how these cyber intrusions are taking place.
And it sounds like, or we can look at it as a whole, the compliance space, it can be very complicated, very complex, especially if you're not in the weeds daily. How do you go
hmm
about kind of educating prospects and users about the value of your platform? And then how do you get them kind of ramped up on the platform as well?
Well, we take a different approach. I mean, we look at information security as a journey. It is not a plug and play. These are business practices that small and medium-sized businesses need to begin adopting to better protect their data. So going forward, I think small and medium-sized businesses are going to continue to be at the forefront as far as threats and what they need to do to counteract those threats. I do believe that as we go into 2026 and 2027, we're going to see more complex breach occurrences transpire across a multitude of market verticals, which is going to require us obviously to reflect our solutions and our service with that. So when we bring somebody on with our solution, it's a handheld approach. We have an analogy at our business. If we both get into a rowboat and we're rowing towards a destination of information security, if A to C does all the rowing, we're going to go in circles. If our clients do all the rowing, we're going to go in circles. So we take our journey together with our clients. We're keenly aware that a lot of our clients don't know a lot about information security or how to effectuate it, and that's our job is to take something that's traditionally been very complex and make it simple. So small, medium-sized business owners can get back to doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is building and operating their business.
Mhm. I like it. And for somebody out there listening now, what makes a good client for you? Like what makes somebody fit the mold of somebody that might need A2C?
The perfect client for us is anybody that's looking to better secure the consumer private data they've collected. Our clients have a keen understanding of the importance of securing consumer private data and doing the blocking and tackling fundamentals in order to better effectuate that through assessments, policies and procedures, information security awareness training, assessing vendors. I can't tell you how many businesses we come across with just simple policies and procedures. So if the you know what hits the fan at any one specific business, what are they supposed to do? And sadly enough, the vast majority of small and medium-sized businesses, when these things happen, they don't know what to do. Our clients do. Our clients, we work with them, as I said, it's a journey in helping them build, first of all, understanding how ugly are they and how many things, what do they need to do to better effectuate security, and then begin to implement an information security program at that business. And that's exactly what we do, helping them build it and continue to manage it effectively.
Mm. And Greg, you touched on it earlier. In order to do that, you've got to build a security first culture within your
Mhm.
clients' businesses, essentially. Being the CEO of A2C, what sort of culture have you built internally and what's the mindset of the company as you guys continue to grow?
Well, we operate the same way that our solution operates. We understand, we assess ourselves several times per year. So we know where we are. We run a number of different tests against our system to ensure the integrity of that system is intact. Policies and procedures. We do have policies and procedures internally that we follow very strictly. Information security awareness training, really all everything that our solution provides. But really, for us, where we find great pleasure is educating our clients and educating our prospective clients. And it doesn't need to be in a 4-day webinar. This can be something that's done over the course of time as we work with our clients, but getting them to understand the simple metrics, the simple blocking and tackling fundamentals of information security is our goal. And then helping them effectuate those and building an information security program at their business is what we do. And internally, it's exactly the same thing for us.
Hmm. Hmm. Got it. And as you continue to grow, what does the makeup of your company look like? Are you guys in person? Are you remote? How's the build of
No, we're
A2C?
in person. We have some people across the country, but we're headquartered in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So for this time of year, as a bald guy, it's a little tough. I was out snowblowing my driveway at 5:35 this morning. So for anybody that's listening here, if you're looking at moving to Minnesota, maybe you'll want to wait until springtime.
Hmm. Hmm. Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and being in person with obviously few people spread out, what does that kind of look like in the day to day? How has that kind of helped the business grow?
Well, we want to be in a position to help our clients first and foremost. And what we need to do fundamentally internally in order to do that is paramount. And it starts with communication. It starts with our policies and procedures. It starts with, if we're going to go from A to B, how are we going to get there? And we do the same thing with our clients. Um, we you asked a question earlier about interacting with our clients. We go to a lot of the conventions and the verticals that we operate in. Um, Currently, right now, we help franchise automotive, power sport, RV, marine, outdoor power equipment, heavy trucking, golf car dealers. We help anyone in that dealer segment that's collecting consumer private data. And really, that started with the requirements that were put upon that market vertical. But as we've seen changes over the last 4 or 5 years, it's more about building a dynamic of security at a small business. It's not just about following compliance. The compliance metrics of the FTC Safeguards Rule are fantastic, blocking and tackling fundamentals for a business to better to secure their consumer private data. Absolutely. But that's not what we push upon a lot of our clients. It's more of a needs analysis. We've done an assessment. These are the parts that are ugly. Which one do you want to address first?
Mhm. Got it.
Which has
And
been a different paradigm than in the past. In the past, it's been you need all these things in order to be compliant. And in our view, compliance is important, but we look at that more as the foundation of information security than the end that justifies the mean.
mhm. And something I actually worked for a cybersecurity company back in the day, but
Hmm.
an issue we commonly saw just not only with that business, but across the space is people view things like information security as an expense. It's something
Hmm.
they don't really feel like investing in because it doesn't necessarily help them make more money, especially as a small business. They want to kind of keep their books in check. How do
Hmm.
you go about explaining the true value of an information security platform?
Well, look, it would be really, really nice to be the guy sitting here that has the solution that can thwart off every single cyber intrusion. I
Mm,
mean, wouldn't that be awesome? But working with our clients, a number of things as far as educating them so they understand what the importance is. And that can be sometimes difficult. And a lot of that is done through interaction. So at our business, every one of our clients has a customer client advocate. So they're not calling a 1-800 number and speaking to someone they've never spoken to before, where they have to go back in, reread their record. Where are you? Where can I help you? We want to build relationships with our clients. So when I look at a business that says, well, this is an expense that I don't think I want to incur, my question back to them is, how important is your business? Because it's not about following compliance metrics anymore. It's about understanding the importance of securing the consumer private data that you've collected. Consumers are smarter now.
mm,
Consumers don't want their data sold. And that's why you see, cookie compliance and website compliance and what kind of cookies people want to be able to have recognized and what they don't want to have recognized. People understand the importance of securing their data. And when that data is compromised, trust and brand degradation takes a hit. I would be willing to bet that if I were to go up to 100 small business owners in some random part of the country, that about 99 of them would tell me that if a cyber intrusion took place or a breach took place, could they financially sustain it? And I'm willing to bet you about 99% of them, if they were honest, would say no. And the
mhm,
reason for that is it's not just about a regulatory fine. It's not just about a civil penalty or civil suits. Think of the amount of time that a business owner, its employees would have to take in order to address the civil suits, in order to address the legal inquiries, in order to work with their cyber policy, assuming that they have one. There's a lot there. It's not just, well, I lost some data, the fine's 10 grand, I'm going to pay it and move on. It's not that simple. It's significantly more complex than that. So if a small business owner says, I don't think this is for me, they're probably not for us either.
mhm,
We're not in the business of convincing people that information security is important. We're in the business of helping businesses that understand the saliency of it and helping them effectuate it cost effectively and simply.
mhm. Yeah, I think that's super clear. And Greg, you had mentioned webinars earlier. As there's so much noise in this space, how are you guys going about kind of breaking through that? How are you guys going about creating new conversations with new potential clients?
Well, for instance, in the dealer vertical, we're partners with a lot of the associations within those market verticals. We are um, part of, we are partners with the NADA. We're partners with the MPDA, the RVDA, so all the primary associations, and we work a lot with those associations in providing education to their members. So, for instance, there was a breach of 700 credit. 700 credit operates in a lot of the market verticals that we do. A lot of power sports dealers obviously use 700 credit, and the National Power Sports Dealer Association and us put on a webinar to talk to dealers about these are some things that you should do if you utilize 700 credit. We actually had a senior marketing director from 700 credit on the call with us. So it's not about just, blasting a bunch of information into our clients' faces. It's about giving them information and helping them understand how it relates to their business and why it's important and what could happen going forward. People need to understand that if there's a breach at AT&T, that could actually affect my business because I may have some employees that are utilizing the same credentials on the AT&T portal or website that they're using here at my business. So guess what? Now you've got RSVPs for the nefarious players to use when they feel like it. And
Mhm,
so understanding credentials and where you use them and the importance of complex credentials to maintain the integrity of information and securing that information is vital,
mhm,
absolutely vital.
mhm.
But I'm willing to bet that most people still use, Greg 123 exclamation point for a lot of their passwords.
Yeah, yeah, definitely would not surprise me.
No.
And with that, sounds like partnerships have been great. Looking forward into 2026, what are you guys doing to grow the business? What's your mission for the new year?
Well, we're going to continue to expand our partnership relationships across automotive, power sport, RV, marine, and others. We're going to be venturing into some new verticals as well. Not so much on the compliance side as much as utilizing the foundation that we've been able to build with our solution and helping small, medium-sized businesses and some other verticals address information security as well. So it'll be a continued expansion of our partners, our current partners that we have. We have a few new partners we'll be announcing at the AIM Expo, which is the power sports show in a few weeks in Los Angeles. And we'll have some forthcoming announcements in a brand new vertical for us sometime in Q2.
Hmm, very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like 2025 was a good foundational year. Obviously, everything before that as well. And 2026, it's time to hit the ground running for you guys.
Well, I think 2025 was a learning year for a lot of businesses.
Hmm.
The transformation of business here in the U.S. and obviously worldwide is changing by the hour.
Hmm.
So we need to properly reflect our knowledge and understanding of what those new threats are and how we can help our clients understand them and manage them.
100%. And Greg, speaking of that, one of my favorite questions to ask CEOs at the end of the show, if there was one lesson you wish you learned a little earlier in your career, what would that one lesson be?
Patience, patience. I graduated from college about 25 presidents ago. But when I came out, um, I wanted everything right away. And my suggestion to anyone getting out of college is find out what your love is, find out what your passion is, and stick to it, and let your success evolve. Don't manufacture the success; the success will come. So that's right out of college. I was, I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. As a result of that, I probably made some decisions that I probably shouldn't have made. But now, a little older, a little wiser. Patience is very, very important. For instance, with the introduction of AI, you see a lot of businesses spending on AI. They're seeing margin compression. Um, we kind of took more of the Toyota approach with AI. We stood back and analyzed what's going to be the best fit for our clients, number one, and how is that going to impact the current solution that we have. So we're going to be continue to introducing new solutions and technologies within our existing solution, but we're not just playing the Me Too game.
Hmm.
So sitting back, analyzing, it's kind of like what Toyota did with electronic vehicles. They sat back and waited to see what the landscape was going to do. Well, pretty smart move because now the landscape is in trouble, and hybrids are growing like crazy. So we're taking very much the same approach.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's a great way to kind of conduct yourself. Is everybody jumped in to the deep end of the pool when it came to AI. At the end of the day, it is just another accelerant if you use it correctly, but can also do the complete opposite if you overindulge, so to say.
Right. We saw a lot of businesses that were adding AI applications all over the place. And then I spoke to a few CEOs at an AI conference I was at in February of last year or this year. And it was amazing at the quick spend. And then kind of looking back on it and saying, we probably didn't need that. Maybe we didn't need that either.
Mm,
But AI is not going anywhere. It's only going to make the threats more complex, and so our solutions need to reflect those threats.
mhm, 100%. And I've actually got one last question for you then.
Sure.
If anybody out there is listening now, considering whether it be A2C or anybody else looking at information security, compliance stuff, what actual piece of advice could you give them to kind of just dip their toes in the water if they are thinking about a solution?
Information security is not a plug and play. Information security is about building a culture at your business and reflecting that culture through the operations and with which you conduct that business. That's unbelievably important. Very, very important.
Mhm. Yeah, I like it. I like it. So to simplify that, would you say kind of keep your expectations in check? It's not just gonna be like it's gotta be a partnership with however you approach it, is essentially
Yeah,
what it
I
breaks
mean,
down to?
work with a solution and the people that you enjoy working with. I would encourage anybody to work with a business that's willing to work with you. It's not about complex, expensive solutions and plug and play solutions that make all your troubles go away. It's about starting from square one. First inning, no outs, no balls. We're just getting started. Um, but find a solution that is simple and easy to understand. Take your time with it. As I've said earlier in this podcast, it's a journey. Information security is not something you buy at Target, plug into your wall, and forget about it. It is part of your business. It's going to have to be part of your business going forward. If businesses don't start taking information security seriously, certainly small and medium sized businesses, they may not be around very long
Mhm,
because the complexity of these attacks is only going to get worse. And we're seeing that just even over the last several months.
mhm. No doubt. And Greg, if somebody did wanna get in contact with you, what are the best places to do that?
Go to our website, accelerate2compliance.com. Our contact information is all readily available there. If you're looking at more information, I would encourage you to go to our website and read some of our blog posts. You'll see some of our blog posts and newsletters don't just talk about, well, this happened, doesn't that suck? We like to talk about this happened and this is why it matters to you. And here's some things you can do at your business to make sure it doesn't happen to you.
Mhm,
So we really try to provide that educational piece. But again, we don't want to send them, a 19-page report. A lot of the things that we do when you look at our website and you look at our solution, simplicity is the main driver in everything that we do. If it's not simple, then businesses looking to effectuate information security will not be successful.
mm. I like it. So, yeah, I'll be sure to tag your website down in the description. I can also put a tag to your LinkedIn if people wanna go ask some other questions on there.
Sure,
That'll be
sure.
down in the
Anyone's free to
description.
reach out. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll get both of those tagged. But for everybody tuning in, thank you for giving us your time. Thank you for giving us your attention. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. And Greg, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for the great conversation.
Thanks, Oliver. I appreciate it. It's been a great time.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.